When it comes to early childhood, several important factors play a key role in that child's development: physical health, nutrition, family engagement, and one organization is working to improve the overall wellness of families through early childhood care. Joining me now in studio is the Vice President of Advocacy and Outreach for the Potts Family Foundation, Craig Knutson. Craig, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Courtney. Appreciate it.
Craig, I know that the Potts Family Foundation offers many different services, connecting these services with families and their children. What are some of the services that you connect families with, and how is that beneficial to them?
Because we have a corpus, we issue about $100,000 to maybe $130,000 worth of grants. And those grants go primarily to agencies, nonprofits usually, social service agencies that are providing direct services to families and children. So it could be parents as teachers, it could be Sunbeam Family Services, it could be a number of those types of agencies over the years that we funded. So what we're doing is we're identifying through our board of directors the programs that seem to be the most effective, have them issue a grant proposal, we review it, and then we grant out, like I said, somewhere between $100,000 and $150,000 a year to those agencies. And then obviously asking for some kind of a report back that says, here's what we were able to do with those. So we are a direct provider of funding to agencies that deliver their services.
So what is the overall goal of the Potts Family Foundation, and how are you seeing families benefit from these services that you provide?
The Potts Family Foundation is dual missioned. We started out many years ago focusing on improving nonprofit capacity in this state. We have over 18,000 nonprofits, which is a lot. And we have what is called the Oklahoma Center for Nonprofits, which is just celebrating its 35th year in existence, and it provides consulting and training, expertise to all the nonprofits so that they can function better. Our second mission is the early childhood piece. So ours is really enhancing the development and wellness of families pre-birth to 5. So we're interested, it's not that we're not interested in families if the kid's 6 or 7, that's got to be our focus, because really once the child gets into the K through 12 system, that's a different realm. But we feel like we can impact through state agencies and through nonprofits the services that can be delivered. So those types of services, again, could be family support services. How can parents better interact with their children on a day-to-day basis? They could be making sure that parents know the right questions to ask about childcare, because there's a world of difference between a 1-star and a 3-star rated childcare center. So those types of things. We want people to know about the literacy and numeracy programs that are available, like Reach Out and Read and others. Talking is Teaching. So our foundation, much like foundations in Tulsa and in Oklahoma City, in as much Kaiser and Tulsa, are really focusing more of our efforts now on the early childhood piece, because it's really the initial part of the workforce pipeline. If we do a really good job in 0 through 5, we're going to likely see children school ready, passing their 3rd grade reading tests, graduating high school, and hopefully going on to career tech, to college or whatever, and have higher earnings. And there have been enough studies to show that when children, especially if children of lower socioeconomic status, have been involved in programs like this for 1 or 2 years, that they actually do advance very, very nicely, both cognitively and non-cognitively.
And what are some of the main issues you see facing childhood development today, and how do you see those issues evolving over time?
There's been so much good, solid neuroscience that we didn't have 10, 15 years ago, that really speaks to the point that this isn't rocket science, but neuroscience is a science. And what they've been able to demonstrate in many cases is really, if parents will focus on expanding the opportunities and experiences for their children, talking with them, playing with them, singing with them, taking them to the zoo, taking them out in the backyard and putting up a tent. Just you pick the thing. Kids are growing, their brains are growing so rapidly in the 0 to 3, 0 to 5 category, that as long as you can keep them exercised. So this is a serve and return type of experience that kids need to have. And the more that we can interact and the more that we can make good eye contact with them, they're going to benefit from that. The fact is that the science is now demonstrating that we don't have to buy a lot for our kids. We just have to expose them to good, positive experiences. because the brain's going to develop positively if that's the case, but it'll also develop negatively if we introduce too many adverse childhood experiences. And so we also want to talk to parents, and I say we, these programs help parents stay away from the adverse childhood experiences too, and focus more on the positive.
Now I want to talk to you more about the Oklahoma Childhood Coalition Conference.
Right.
I know the Potts Family Foundation is playing a large role in that.
We
What
are.
will the focus of that conference be?
We're going to start off the conference with a keynote speaker from Ready Nation, or Council for a Strong America, Nancy Fishman, who's Deputy Director, and she will bring to Oklahoma City and to the state the information and knowledge that's going on in other states. What's working in other states? And it's always good to know, because sometimes we reinvent the wheel, not looking at best practices elsewhere. So she'll be able to come in and do that. So we'll do that as a keynote luncheon. We'll have the breakout sessions, and then we'll conclude with Nancy actually interacting with 4 of our state legislators who will be returning to the state capitol. Senators A.J. Griffin, David Holt, and Representatives Cindy Munson and George Young. So we'll have a panel of 4, and they will interact. They will be able to hear what actually took place in the conference, because we'll be capturing that information. And then Nancy will be moderating their thoughts and expectations as we come into FY17. It looks like it's going to be another tough year, hopefully not as bad as the last, but we want the emphasis to be, with limited resources, we want more of those resources, limited resources, directed to these types of programs that we know generate long-term benefit.
All right, well, thank you so much, Craig, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Courtney. Appreciate it.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about the Potts Family Foundation, just head to okhorizon.com, where we have a link to their website under this story.